Good morning and welcome to Business Africa Live on BTA. And I'm your host, Benjamin Afre. This morning, we just want to take a look at other business happenings across the African continent and Ghana as well. There are issues in Ghana, to Zimbabwe, Nigeria, and so we would be discussing that. What can we do to improve our relations as African countries as well, to improve the economies of all these countries? Today's discussion with me this morning is Benjamin Aka, an investment advisor and a broker as well. You're welcome, Benjamin.
Thank you very much.
It's good to see you.
It's good to see you too.
Okay, let's take our first story on Ghana. Now, Manji Cheto, who is a risk analyst, a risk manager, thinks that the 9% target government is looking to achieve in terms of growth for the economy this year is unattainable. Coming also on the back of the fact that the IMF has itself downgraded Ghana's growth prospects about 4.9%. Would we take her concern seriously? Is it something that you, in your opinion, think that the 9% is also not achievable, looking at current situations in the country?
As with every forecast, it is dependent on a lot of things, the history and the current trends that are going on. She has done her analysis. I'm not privy to the kind of information that has gone into the analysis, but considering that she's renowned, I would expect that she has done some good work. But the thing is, I also want to look at the government itself and the figures that they have churned out. They are in charge of the economy, they have more of the data, and they have access to all the information that I would want to trust and say that, yes, I would think that they have the right figures that they have. So I'm not exactly doubting Manji Cheto, but I would say that maybe some conservative thoughts may have gone into the forecast that she has come out with.
But she's coming on the back of the fact that government projected to achieve 2%, for example, last year in January, in terms of growth, but achieved only 0.3%. So if you are looking at that projection as against the actual, would you then, concede that, well, she may have a point after all?
She may have a point, but you don't take one quarter and determine that everything has gone bad since then. Things have gone a bit wrong, because even the finance minister himself has come out to admit that there are some challenges with the economy. And so, yes, she may have a point, but it's exactly not something that I will hold on to and say that because one quarter something like this happened, therefore it's representative of how the government has done throughout.
So you wouldn't, for example, think that maybe the government or the finance minister should revise the growth figures? You wouldn't think?
Well, considering the information that will be available to him, he may do a rethink of those figures.
Okay.
Because if the first quarter it didn't go as according to plan, maybe there's some revising that needs to be done. But he has to look at the figures that he has to work with, and then he can come to that conclusion.
I see. Okay, so on Ghana, the Bank of Ghana is seeking to roll out an insurance policy, so for banks and so that deposits, for example, can be guaranteed their money should anything happen to the banks. What are your thoughts on it? Do you think is the right way to go? Is it the best thing to do?
Deposit insurance scheme, I think it's a good thing. Most countries around the world practice it. Even Nigeria here has been doing it since 1998, I believe. So yeah, it is a good thing. It imbues confidence in the financial sector. It helps the customers to be assured that in the event of any eventuality, their funds and deposits are safe. But of course, there are some challenges with the depositing. Sometimes the education to the consumers are not exactly the best. Yeah. So Ghana may want to look at what Nigeria has done, see the challenges that were faced by Nigeria, and see whether they can come up with some solutions so that these challenges are all addressed. But there's nothing wrong with a deposit insurance scheme that seeks to protect investors or the customers when they bring their deposits. I think it's a good thing and long overdue, actually.
Oh, okay. It's long overdue.
Because in Ghana here, we have seen some bank failures. Yes. Ghana Cooperative Bank, Bank for Housing and Construction. Yeah. So yes, if already the Bank of Ghana has some regulations that they use in supervising all the banks, but another additional layer of security would not hurt anyone.
Okay, so on Ghana, there's supposed to have been an implementation of a petroleum tax, Now, my question is, looking at the fact that we are in such a difficult situation, do you think the government can introduce that?
There are two sides to this coin, really. Because if you bring in the tax, you raise funds, you're able to pursue your agenda. Because actually, as a government, you do need these funds to pursue your agenda. And our budget deficit is not exactly the best. It's not very good. So it's a dicey situation, because once you introduce the tax, what happens then is that prices of goods and services go
Most
up,
definitely.
cost of businesses
Just
go
shoot
up. So it's a question of looking at the cost and benefits of these two sides of the issue and determining whether the cost to bring in this tax into the Ghanaian economy is conveniently offset by the benefits that you stand to gain from doing